Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. See if that is better. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. No, it's not going on. It's fine. Hmm. What in the world? Sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened to the live stream, but we're back. Are you guys? Ugh. I didn't open another stream at all. I did stop and start the stream again because it was having technical difficulties. So sorry, guys. We'll try this again. We'll try this again. See if everybody. I don't know what the deal is with the technical difficulties, but we'll wait. Josh, if you could go navigate to the old stream, I don't know if I can find that easily here. See if I can. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, well, hang on. See if everybody can find us. Sorry about that. Really am sorry. I apologize. I hate this. Just for whatever reason, there was the signal was no good. Dun, 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 dun. I was asking questions, and all of a sudden, nobody was there. Looks like we've got good health now. Good health of a stream. Guys, I finally made it past the doldrums. I mean, for the last 2 weeks, I've been at 1,590 subscribers, and people are leaving and people are coming. It's been crazy today. I finally, finally kicked past the 1,600 mark for some reason. All right, let me know when you're back. I got 11 of you. I think there were like 14 of you. I just wanted to make sure I got it, y'all. We good to go? I was talking about the two different types of structures there, so we're going to start the Elliott Wave Night School. We're going to start talk about trading setups using Elliott Wave Structure, beginning to understand where the actual trades are on a chart using the structures and how to predict price and where it's going. We're just going to begin thinking about applying this, okay? So that's what we're doing. So anyway, we need to review the rules for the two different types of structures. So who remembers the two different types of structures that we have as far as in an Elliott Wave structure? There are two different types. What do they be, if y'all remember? You got it. We got, yep, good. Motive. That's the other name for impulsive. There we go. Good deal. We got people answering now. That's right. So you really need to begin to be able to recognize the difference. And the key for me and the way I apply Elliott Wave is understanding the difference between an impulse and a corrective wave. Okay, now it's really critical that you understand the rules. You've got to be able to differentiate between something that's an impulse and something that might. Excuse me, one second. Understanding the excuse me, sorry about that. Understanding the difference between something that is an impulse and something that might look like an impulse that's not. Okay, because that's the difference between whether you get the direction right or not, and that's what makes Elliott Wave a lot harder than it. It makes application hard, and that's why some people call it subjective. But if you begin to learn these rules, remind yourself of the rules, and then apply the rules well, you'll do well. So let's just talk about the rules for an impulse wave here. And here's an impulse wave. The first rule is how many waves does an impulse have? It has 5 waves. Okay. Now what's the 2-wave rule? The 2-wave rule. Somebody remind us what the wave 2 rule is. Two cannot pass the origin of the one wave. Very good. That's a quick answer there. So if this wave even wicks, it can't even wick the origin of the one wave. If it does that, then that 2 is not a valid 2. That is something else. Okay. Now that could be an AB, because if it does that, that could be an expanded flat or something like that. But it wouldn't be a 1-2. You would know that for sure. Okay. Now, what is the wave 4 rule? What is the wave 4 rule? What is the wave 4 rule? Welcome, guys. Those of you. Okay. The rule for wave 4 is that it cannot surpass, it cannot retrace into the territory of wave 1. Okay. That's why I often put a line of death on my chart like that. Okay. So I'll often put a line at the top of wave 1 across here, so that when this wave comes down, I know where wave 1 ends. Because wave 4, if it's a wave 4, if I'm going to count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this wave cannot go any deeper than the top of wave 1. It can't even wick. It's not, by rule, it's not even allowed to wick into it. Now, I tend to fudge that rule to some degree depending on wave shape and what's going on in the market. But in general, that is a rule that cannot be broken. So the wave 4 cannot retrace into the territory of 1. So that's a big deal. 2 cannot retrace deeper than wave 1. Okay, and then wave 4 cannot retrace into the territory of the top of wave 1. All right. What is the rule for wave 3? What is the wave 3 rule? We're just reviewing an impulse wave and what an impulse wave is. Wave 3 rule. Josh got an answer in there. There it is. Good job. It can't be the shortest. A lot of people think 3 is always the longest. That's not the truth. 3 is not the longest always. It usually is the longest, as Brentley says, but Brentley, that wouldn't be the rule. That would just be a guideline. The rule is it cannot be the shortest wave, so it can't be the shortest wave. So 2 can't retrace below 1, 4 can't retrace into the territory of the top of 1, and 3 not allowed to be the shortest wave. If you have the shortest wave marked as a 3, it is incorrect. All right, very good. That's basically an impulse wave. Now let's talk about one more thing as a general rule of thumb that I go by. Wave 3, what fib extension does wave 3 need to come to in order to prove itself to be an impulsive wave? An impulse that's going on. That's pretty strong motive. What Fibonacci level does a wave 3 need to hit? or extension, Fibonacci extension. Hey, what's up? Thanks, Carrie. All right, there you go, guys. There are the basic rules for our impulse. Nice job, 1618. So a three wave needs to go beyond the 1618. And so guys, when you begin to see those rules play out in a wave, you say, okay, I've got an impulse wave. Now, what we want to learn tonight is to begin to think about the implications of that. Okay, if you have an impulse wave, a five wave, okay, it's going to be followed every time by a corrective wave. Okay, impulses are followed by corrections, which corrections are made of how many waves? All corrective waves are generally how many waves? That's right. A corrective wave is three waves. Now that's really, really handy information to know, because what I want to now do with you guys is begin helping you find trade setups so that you can begin taking that structure that I just showed you, that we know about, and applying that to finding trade setups and knowing where to enter the market and being patient for those entries, so that you guys are not losing your money and you're not entering in the wrong places. Because how many times have you wanted to enter the trade and you enter the trade and you realize, daggone it, the trade comes back against you, or it doesn't go your way right away, and you find yourself underwater or in a bad position in the trade. You want to enter the trade in a good place where you're not getting underwater. And so we want to learn that. So let's remind ourselves of the rules for an ABC correction before we go on. So we've reviewed an impulse wave, and then we want to look at a corrective wave. So a corrective wave has three waves. Very good. Now, generally speaking, there are let's just say three different kinds of corrections, or three different categories of corrections. Okay. What is the first category that I've drawn right here? This would be what would this be an example of? What kind of a correction that I've drawn right there? This would be a simple correction. Okay, this would be a simple correction. We would call that a zigzag correction. Generally, a simple correction is simply a zigzag. It's an ABC. Okay, and in a zigzag, the A wave is going to have five waves. Okay, and I forgot to go over the waves, the wave sub counts in the last one, so we'll come back to that in just a minute. So a zigzag, your A wave is going to have five waves. Okay, guys, if your A wave doesn't have five waves, you don't have a zigzag. That's a big deal. Okay, so we're looking for five waves in the A wave. Okay, in the B wave of a zigzag, you're going to have three waves. Always B has three waves. Always B has three waves. Okay, and then C wave in a simple zigzag formation. C always has five waves. Now, let me also say this, that generally speaking, these five waves right here are impulsive. They make impulses. So they're waves that are impulses. So you need to know that. By themselves, they are impulse waves. So A is going to be an impulse. C is going to be an impulse. Okay? They're just going to be to the opposite direction of the impulse, the larger impulsive wave. Okay, so these five subwaves are actually five subwaves of an impulsive wave. That's why sometimes corrections, they get scary. Okay, like in a flat, for instance. Okay, in a flat, that C, an expanded flat in particular, right here, when the B wave goes lower than the A, we'll talk about it in just a minute. The C wave shoots up really fast. Okay, as an impulse, and that impulse scares people. Okay, oh, we're going up, because that's what we got when we got that the shoot up for $3,000 in Bitcoin. That was nothing more than the C wave of an expanded flat, in my opinion, and that's why I think we're coming down. Okay, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. All right, so but anyway, they're going to be impulsive. Now let's go back to our impulse wave here. The subwave counts of wave 1 3, and 5. Okay, the impulse waves of so an impulse wave has three bursts. Okay. Um, Hey James, hey man, I'm teaching. I know that there are generally speaking some exceptions to the rule. I'm teaching basics for now. If you could just back off and just I understand. We're trying to cover in generalities, okay? And I haven't finished teaching. We got lots to cover, and we're covering the information. Just don't derail it by coming in and correcting me, please. And if I misspeak a little bit, as far as general rules, please. I understand. Start a channel. um, in the 5 waves here, the first wave, they're gonna have basically an impulse wave is 3 bursts. Okay, it's got an initial burst and then a larger burst, generally speaking, but not always. Depends on a diagonal or whatnot, and then a 5th wave. So they're basically 3 impulses. Impulsive moves to the side, to the direction of the wave, and each of those impulses are going to have 5 subwaves. So I want to remind you of that rule as well. That basically you're going to have five subwaves in those impulsive waves. Okay. Generally speaking, we have not covered a diagonal yet, and so we'll have to cover that shortly. There we go. And then a 5th wave will be there. Okay, so we've got basically 5s. Your impulse waves are 5s. Your corrective waves are going to be 3s in general. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the next category of correction here. So we got a simple correction, basically a simple zigzag. What's the next category of a correction here? I'm going to draw it. What have I drawn right here? Oop. I've labeled this one ABC. So we'll get to complex in a minute. That'll be the 3rd category, guys. So let's cover the 3rd category down here that you guys got complex. Okay. So yes, if you said flat, that's the right answer for this one. This is a flat. Now in a flat, there are 3 types of flats. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 types of flats. Just remind you about the different types of correction. All we're doing is reviewing, guys, the structures so that we can understand what they're made of and begin to identify them and pick directions here. Okay. All right. So a flat. Basically, the basic rule of a flat is this: that the B wave retraces 90%, at least 90% of the A wave. That's the rule, okay? It needs to come down at least 90% of the B wave, of the A wave. So a regular flat is the B wave needs to come 90 to 100%. Now, in a regular flat, it can't exceed the 100%, okay? In a regular flat. And then the C wave, generally speaking, is 1 to 1 to anywhere from 1 to 1 to 1.618 of. Well, that's actually an expanded flat. And then the C wave generally is a 1 to 1 extension, and that's what a regular flat looks like. I'm trying to remember the guidelines for all the. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember all the guidelines for that for the extensions. We'll talk about, but we're just talking about basic shapes right now. Is all we're dealing with at this stage. Not worried so much about the Fibonacci's yet. Now let's talk about a different type of flat. So this would be a regular flat. Let's talk about this type of flat where the B wave retraces beyond the origin of the A wave, and that can happen. Okay, what kind of flat are we dealing with there? Talking about an expanded flat there. Very good. Where the B wave comes below the origin of the A wave. Okay? And then the retrace. Okay? The retrace generally is a 1, 2, 3, 6. It retraces 101, generally speaking, to the 1, 2, 3, 6 of of the A wave. A lot of times that's where it comes. Okay, that's a good telltale measurement of that particular wave. Okay, so that's an expanded flat. The C wave generally is like a 1618 of the A wave extended. So the extension of the, when you measure the A, it extends a lot of times to the 1618. I suppose it doesn't have to, but it generally does. Okay, and finally, a running flat is the last one. Okay, a running flat where you have the C wave is truncated. It is shorter. It does not completely surpass the level of the A wave. Okay, all right. Now I believe in a running flat you can have an expanded. It can be expanded like this. I'm not sure that it has to be expanded. Could be regular, but in general, you have a flat shape where the C is shorter. Okay, it's running. It's like it's ready. It's like we're done with this correction. We're out of here. That's the idea there. Okay, so it's like, just in a really bull market, you're gonna get running flats. Or really bear markets, you're gonna get running flats. You basically, what's gonna happen is price is moving. It's really powerful to the upside or something, and then basically it'll correct. Price will come up, it'll correct, it'll come up, correct, and done. Okay, and there's your flat, in there, you're running flat, and it just goes on. All right, so those are flats. There's three types of them, and you got to realize that. But you can generally see the family of flats by the shape it makes. Okay, that B wave retraces really deep into the A wave. So that's the family of flats where the A, B, C is just kind of sideways, right? And that's a sideways motion, and it generally only comes. Yeah, how do I say it? The B wave retraces 90 to 100% to 123% of the A wave. So that's the next family. And the final family of corrections we need to talk about are it's the last family of corrections. We got regular, we've got flats, we got simple, we got flats, and then what? We have complex structures for sure. WXY. So we'll get to triangles in just a minute. We haven't really covered triangles much yet. We will do that for sure. But we basically have a double. This is a WXY is a double zigzag. Okay, it's basically just doubling the zigzag formation in general. And then we have combo corrections. So we'll talk. There's so many categories here. I'm trying to simplify it, and I'm not necessarily teaching this. How do I say it? I'm not necessarily categorizing this exactly as everybody as an Elliott Wave book would do. I'm just trying to give general. I'm taking knowledge here and trying to package it to you guys so you can grab it all fairly quickly. Just with some major categories here, so understand what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm taking knowledge and I'm assimilating it how how I understand it, and giving it to you guys in the way I do it. So anyway, I'm not trying to copy any book or what. I'm not even going through a curriculum. I'm just kind of walking through materials. Okay, so with that being said, we got a W, X, and a Y. WXY is basically a 3-3-3 structure where you have no problem, unknown. No problem. We're just reviewing right now the different structures. Okay, you got a three-wave structure W, you got a three-wave X, and then you got a three-wave Y. Okay, so basically when you're dealing with a WXY, everything is three waves. Okay, it's three waves. Now, here's the cool thing: the three waves could be like zigzags. Okay, so in that zigzag, you're gonna have a 5, a 3, and a 5. Okay. You can have a 5-3-5 there. Okay, you could have a 3-3-5. You could have a flat. Um, any three-wave structure. Okay, any three-wave structure. So WXY is a three-wave, and then a WXYXZ is just a triple correction. Is all that is. WXYXZ, like so, basically is where you've got a triple correction, where you've got a three-wave, a three-wave, a three-wave, a three-wave, and a three-wave, like so. Everything is 3-3-3-3-3. All right, there you go. Now, we didn't talk about triangles. There are several different types of triangles. We're going to cover those in another night, not tonight. I need to cover diagonals with you, and we'll cover the diagonals with the triangles. But diagonals are impulsive waves, whereas triangles are corrective waves in general. But you can find diagonals in corrective waves, and we need to talk about those things. So we'll get to that. We're going to begin to apply the basic principles of what we've just shared tonight. Okay. All right. So there we go. So we've got corrections, we've got impulses, and we've got the basic understanding of them. Okay. Now there's more to know, guys. There's a lot more to know. We're gonna begin to understand the nuances of Elliott wave and some of the other rules that are more difficult as we go along. Okay, so understand that I'm just trying to go along at a pace that everybody can grab. So understand those things. Okay, now let's do a little bit of teaching here as far as implications of what we've going on. So in other words, when I see a certain structure forming on the chart, it tells me what should be coming next. Okay. For instance, if I see a 5-wave structure form on the chart, and it's in number one, what kind of a structure is it? Where the 3 comes to a 1-6-1-8, the 2 doesn't surpass the level of the 1, the 4 doesn't go into the level of the 1. What kind of wave is that? When you see a 5-wave structure, you got an impulsive wave. Okay, now this is where we're going to begin to take that information and then begin to apply it. Okay, now when I see an impulse, that tells me immediately that I should expect something. What do I know is true? What is true once I see an impulse forming? What do I know? I know something. In general, okay, we're going to get a corrective wave to follow in general, depending on where we are in the chart. There's no doubt about it. But that's very helpful. Now, let's talk about where we find impulse waves. So, where do you find impulse waves? Okay, so when I see an impulse wave on this degree, this is an impulse wave, or these are the subwaves of a larger degree wave. Okay, there's going to be a corrective wave to follow, and then what would happen after this? What should this corrective wave look like here? If there's 5 subwaves, what should that corrective wave look like in general? In general, I should get some form of 3 in general. A 3 something. Zigzag. I can get a triangle in here in the B wave. Which is actually a 5-wave deal. We understand that. But we're going to get some kind of corrective wave, generally in a 3. So that's what we know. Okay. So if I get a 5 wave, and then I get a 3 wave, there's a good likelihood what would come next after that in general. Yeah, yeah. And so, and that's right. We should get some other 5 wave kind of impulsive wave. Should, in general. So that's helpful to us. That's really helpful to know, because you can trade that. If I see an impulse forming, oh, it's going up. It's impulsive. It's really going up. I'm missing out. I got to get in this trade. Nope, it goes down. Oh no, I got to sell this trade. Nope, goes up. Okay. No, we're not going to fall into that trap anymore. We know that the waves are going to go up and then they're going to come back, because the market always comes back. Why? Because that's what it does on every time frame. It may take a while, but the market will come back. It may not come back all the way. It may come back 50%. It may come back 75%, 78.6%. It might come back 61%. It might come back 38%, but it's going to come back. Okay? So that's why we don't freak out. We chill, because the market will come back. Okay? So we understand that price is going to move up and down. And it makes me laugh. I mean, even you guys in the trading group, I mean, y'all make me laugh every day. Okay, because I'll say, like I'll draw a picture like on the screen, and I'll tell you where price is going. Okay, like for instance, I said today, price is probably going to come back. I recommended that we start shorting the market, possibly looking for shorts, and then oh no, price is going up. There's like this sentiment of, oh no, we're going to miss out. It's going to go up. So I mean, it's like once price starts moving impulsively in another direction, there's something that happens in our psychology. Something happens in our psychology, but you've got to understand that we're waiting for an impulse to the upside, and then a correction to the downside, and then another impulse, because this is what we're looking for right here. You see, we got one right here. Well, now we're going to get one right here, and then after that, we're going to get one right here. Most likely. That's the shape that's coming, okay? The reason I believe that that's the shape of what's coming, okay, is because of the structures that I'm seeing here, okay? Now, there's some other options as to how that could play out, okay? Don't get me wrong. But this is one valid scenario that I'm actually looking for, and potentially I'm looking to trade because of the structures that I'm seeing. So again, what I'm doing is trying to show you how to take structure and apply it to where the market's heading. Okay, so just want to begin thinking about that tonight, just kind of in an introductory way. So the first thing is, when you see an impulse to the upside, we should expect a correction to the downside. Okay, and then after that correction, we should see some continuation of some kind. In general, in the main, just a simple concept of a wave as it's moving. Now, what is the nature of this wave right here? Okay, I've got 3 waves on my screen. What could that be? See, we're not finished. Let's just say the market has come here and it hasn't finished making whatever it's going to make, but we have a 5 waves. So we've got a 5 wave, then we've got a 3 wave, and we've got 5 finished waves. What could this be? Who's with me? Anybody with me? Did I lose you? Okay. Sherlock Holmesy offers ABC. It could be an ABC. Who agrees with him? Giving some other people some time to answer what you think. What could that be on my screen? Could be a zigzag. The beginning of the end. I need you guys to really, really start thinking about this. So those of you that are kind of watching TV or something, you know, this is what you tonight's lesson is what you guys want to know. Okay, so if y'all want to learn to trade this, you need tonight is what you need to really, really be focusing in on. So just saying, this is where the gold is in beginning to understand how to trade these things or how to begin thinking about where the market's going. So you got to begin to think through what you know about structures. Okay, I know that there are two structures that make a 5-3 and a 5. I know that there's two of them. Okay, there's two structures that make a 5-3-5. One of them is an A, B, C zigzag. Okay, that would be a 5 wave, a 3 wave, and a 5 wave. Then, following that, you'd have a 1, a 2, a 3. That looks like an ABC. Okay? So you've got an A, a B, and a C, and then you've got a 1, a 2, and a 3. And both of those, now the 4 and the 5 will come later, right? But both of those make a 5, a 3, and a 5. Okay? 5, a 3, and a 5. Now, what's the difference between an ABC corrective wave and a 1, 2, 3 impulse wave as it begins an impulse? We've got 5, 3, and 5. 5, 3. This is, I haven't shown the 3 wave there, but it's there generally. So what's the difference? There you go, buddy. Seth, that's right. That's right. That would be correct, Sherlock. That would be correct. The big difference in as the market is moving is knowing how far that thing reaches. When we measure the 1 wave and then compare the 3 wave to the 1 wave, the ABC measures generally to a corrective location, which is the 1-to-1 extension or the 1276, right? Then the impulse wave will generally reach to the 1618 to be impulsive. That third wave will make its way up to the 1618. And that's how we're going to kind of know the difference, okay? That when we begin to see the difference in how far those waves extend and how far those waves reach, we begin to apply those and say, okay, all right, man, that's a really extended wave. That extends to the 1618. This is looking very impulsive. Or we say, oh, this is a 5-3 and there's a 5 wave there, but that it only comes to the 1-to-1 extension. This is a corrective wave, okay? So when we begin to as the market is making its waves, we begin to think, okay, this is a corrective wave. This is an impulse wave. And here are the reasons why I know it's an impulse wave or a corrective wave. And you begin to say, okay, I've got a correction or I've got an impulse. You can begin to make some conclusions about where price is going to go next. Doesn't mean you're going to know exactly how it's going to go. It just means you can begin to make some conclusions about, okay, it's going to head in this direction and in some manner in this way. So that's again, we're beginning to think about using structure to find direction. Okay, all right. So let me clear the chart a little bit here. I'm going to just clear it. All right, there we go. Now, here's where it gets complex, and this is where it's difficult and hard to share. So let's begin now thinking about. So we talked about the difference between a corrective wave and an impulse wave, as far as the extension of the third wave. Okay, so you need to remember that. Okay, you need to remember that in a corrective wave, that third wave will only extend to the 1-to-1 or the 1276. It can go shorter than that, and it can go longer than that. But in generally speaking, most often, in general, that wave will come between the 786 and the 1618 in there. It won't extend beyond the 1618. Whereas in an impulse wave, you've got that third wave, and it's going to come to the 1-to-1 extension. 1618 extension of the first wave. All right, now we need to know where impulse waves can happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing I'm going to put an impulse wave on the screen. I'm going to put a corrective wave, a couple of corrective waves on the screen. Okay, in these two structures here, where do the impulses happen? Where do the impulse waves happen? So, for instance, I'm not going to have you answer. Just you answer in your head, and then I'll show you. The impulses are going to be in the 1 wave, the 3 wave, and the 5 wave. The A wave and the C wave. And that's the same for it whether it's going down as well. So if price is going down, okay, or if it's correcting down, impulses are the same. Impulse in the 1, the 3, and the 5, the A and the C. So just because you have an impulse wave on the small time frame doesn't mean it's part of an impulse on the large time frame. So what I'm saying is that an impulse can be inside of a correction, or it can be inside of a larger impulse. Now, that brings us to time frames and what we call degrees of waves, and we need to talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to do some practicing on the chart. We have to understand that at whatever time frame or degree you're looking at. When I say degree, I'm just talking about where I am as far as time frame. So if I'm on the daily chart, I'm zoomed out and I'm looking at the big picture. But on that time frame, you're going to see impulsive waves and corrective waves. And then if you zoom in to like the 4-hour chart, you're going to see impulsive waves and corrective waves on a smaller scale than the daily. Okay. Then you're going to see even more as you go down inside. So as you go down in the time frame, you're going down in degree. In other words, you're getting to the sub counts. Let me show you. Just show you for a minute. I'm going to go to the daily for a moment. turn my sound off here. All right. There we go. All right. For instance, looking at this right here, I mean, my eye catches this right here. For instance, okay. Now, I'm going to zoom in to the 4 hour. There's what I just drew. But now I want to zoom in on that and say, what do we see now? Well, my eye catches this. Okay. My eye catches this. My eye catches this. Whoop. Lots of debate in the Elliott world as to what that is right there, what I've just done, what I've just drawn. Yes, I can do that, Tom. I can do that. Let's do that towards the end if you can hang in there, man. Or towards the application part. Okay. So here you can see these subwaves here, and this is my eyes catch there. It looks like a 3, a 3, and a 5. The problem with that, I mean, so it looks like a flat, doesn't it? The problem with that is that, technically speaking, it doesn't come to the 90% retrace. It's short of the 90%, just barely. Technically speaking, that's not a flat. But man, it follows a lot of the rules of the flat. Sure looks like a flat. It looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It just misses it by a couple of points from me. Technical Elliott Wave guys will say that's not a flat. I say that's a flat. And I'm okay with debating somebody, and I'm okay with them having a different opinion, and that's okay, right? It's a difference in how you apply the rules in a market. Do you say it's got to be 90%? I mean, that's the rule in general. It's got to be 90%. It's close for me. It's close enough to 90%. Close enough for government work. Okay. Now, with that being said, I'm going to zoom in again. I'm going to go now down to the 1 hour chart and show you what I see. Okay, so notice now my lines are starting to, I'm seeing more details now. So let me show you just in this wave. What is my eye catch? My eye catches this right here. That's a 3-wave structure to me. Hey, y'all give me some feedback. You guys tracking with me? You got am I losing anybody, or are you guys starting to track with me a little bit here? Are you tracking like cracking? You spelled it the same way. Okay, good deal. So you see the benefit of starting out on the daily and looking at the waves and just drawing what you see, Okay. In fact, you notice that I'm using this little tool right here. Right here. You go over here to the fourth one down, and you'll see this poly line right here. That's a really I've been using that one lately. I kind of like it because it can give you as many clicks as you want it. And so what you could start doing is just drawing what your eyes see, and then start just 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 marking off what you see quickly. Okay. So to me, this looks like a so in this range here, I got a 3-wave here. Now that looks like 5 waves, but it's in the B position, right? It's in the X position. It needs to be, and this is something important. It needs to be interpreted as 3 waves. Okay, we would need to interpret this as 3 waves. So I would interpret it like this. Oh, you got to remember what you do to stop the click if you want to use this thing. The last one, click on the last button that you click on the last button. Okay, so there's 3 waves in there. Now what jumps out at me here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That jumps out at me there. ABC, ABC. So is that 5 waves or is it an ABC? So this is where you got to begin to ask yourself, okay, what are the rules here? Okay, so let's begin applying the rules. Okay, so we understand what to expect. If I have an A, B, and a C, that means I've got a 5-wave, a 3-wave, and a 5-wave, and that's what I see there. Okay, so I want to begin to, so that I can't see the 5 waves here, but I'm going to assume they're there. If I go to the smaller time frame, I will see them. Whenever I see a straight down motion like that, I pretty much assume it, but I try to check it, but I assume we got 5 waves. I got a 3-wave structure then. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a nice ABC right there. Now, here's where you got to begin to understand the rules. If I have an ABC structure, I got a 3-wave structure, there's only 2 things that could come after that. So let's talk about it. This is where I want to start getting into the application of structures, okay? So if I have an ABC structure, what do you after an ABC, what do you expect to see? There's 2 things you can expect to see. One, you could see an impulse wave following it on the same degree. That's something you could see. So if you have a corrective wave, you should be looking for an impulse after it. In other words, if the trend was doing this, then you get this corrective wave. You expect there to be an impulse wave after. So that's one thing you could expect after an ABC correction. But what else could you get? What else on our structure in our the things that we've gone over tonight, what could come after an ABC? Who knows that answer? What could come after an ABC? And this is important. Yeah, yeah. Sherlock Holmes, he said a 335. I mean, what you're getting at is it's another corrective structure. In other words, you could get an ABC, and then after that, you know what you could get? You could get an ABC. Okay? Now, what could you get after an ABC followed by an ABC? There are 2 things you could get. And it depends on something as well. So what could you get after an ABC followed by an ABC? That's a 3-wave and then a 3-wave. We got a 3, a 3. What could come next? Could get a 5, right? And what would that be if we got a 3, 3, 5? That would be a flat. Now, what would have to be if it's going to be a flat? What has to be in place on the B wave? Where's the B wave have to come? The B wave has to come 90% or so, 90% of the A wave to be a flat. So that's a big deal, guys. That's a big deal. Why is that a big deal? Well, if you get a three-wave structure like that, and then you get another three-wave structure, come on, okay, but that three-wave structure generally doesn't come up to the 90% mark, then what would I expect after it? I should expect an ABC to the downside. Why does that matter? Why is that different than a flat? Well, that's really, what's this called? That's a W, X, and a Y. And why does that matter? Because this last wave is going to come down in three waves. It needs to set my mind as to what to expect. I need to expect three waves. But if I get a three wave and then a three wave, and that three wave comes back almost to the top of where the A wave started, then I should expect a five wave structure to follow it, most likely. Most likely. I mean, you can get a three wave after that. I'm just saying that these are things that you can begin thinking about, okay, as to application of these structures, as the structures are being formed. Why is that? Because in a flat, you get a 3, 3, and a 5. Whereas in a WXY, you get a 3, 3, and a 3. Why does that matter? Well, if I'm trading this and I want to figure out where price is coming, I want to be counting those waves, and I want to know what kind of waves to expect, so I can kind of know about when I need to be taking profit or whatever. If I'm getting in and out, so I need to know also what's a valid way to interpret these waves. How do they have to be interpreted? Beginning by thinking about these structures again. So that's why we're always looking at the structure of the wave. How is it forming? Is it being formed in three waves? Is it being formed in five waves? In what sequence do those waves come? Do I get a 3, 3, and then a 5, or a 3, 3, 3? And so this lesson tonight is pretty hard for me because we're talking application of structure. So you got to know the structures to begin applying them. This is where it gets a little bit more challenging, okay? So right here we've got a three wave followed by a three wave that comes up almost to 90%. You would anticipate the last wave being five waves, and that's exactly what we got. And what I haven't shown you, but we got it. Well, it didn't really have a great diagonal shape. But one could argue that's an ending diagonal C wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only problem is, you've got to go through in all of these and find three waves. It would require these waves to be three waves, and we'd have to see if those could be interpreted as three waves in each. So that's a challenge there. This whole structure right here is really hard for Elliotticians because it breaks some rule. All the rules break down in this wave section right here. At some level, it breaks down. We don't like this. We don't like this wave at all. It's a tough wave, no doubt about it. Let's go on to the next one. My eyes see, just in general, on the larger time frame, boom, boom, boom. That's what my eye sees on the larger time frame. One of the things I want to do now is I want to measure this and where it comes. It comes almost up here to the 1618, but not quite. That's a corrective structure, isn't it? Now, what other structure? What other things jump out at us here? So let me just kind of get the whole wave in view here. So there's the basic shape there. This wave right here is in the B position, right? This is in the A position. This is the B position. That's the C position, okay? Or the W and the X and the Y position, depending on how we're going to interpret it. Now, let's look at the structure of this wave and say, okay, what is this? Well, we notice that B, how far does it retrace, guys? How far does it retrace? The B wave. It retraces the A wave how far? %. What structure, what corrective structure has a B wave that retraces 90%? I know I'm doing a lot of redundant, but I want you guys to think. I want y'all to think with me, okay? So this becomes locked in your brain, okay? Yeah, it's a flat, possibly, right? So let's see, what are the rules for a flat? What's the wave structure of a flat? Remember, let's remind ourselves. Okay, the wave structure is I need a 3 in the A, a 3 in the B, and a 5 in the C. I need a 3, 3, 5. Okay, and I need the B wave to come 90% of the A wave to be a flat. Let's look at it. Let's check it. Do we have 3 waves here? Can this be interpreted as 3 waves? Or must it be interpreted as 5 waves? That's a tough one, guys. When I measure the first wave to the second wave, this wave comes up here where a third wave I would expect it to come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a 5 wave, a 3 wave, a 5 wave, a 3 wave, and a 5. I got a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. So that's a 5 wave structure. One might argue that you've got an A, no, A, I'm not arguing this, I'm just saying one might try to do this. ABC, and then you got an ABC, and then you'd have to get 3 waves out of this right here. You would have to get something like A, B, C, or something like that. And it's not there, in my opinion. But you'd have to get, the only way you can get 3 waves out of that, guys, is by creating a WXY out of that. You'd have to get ABC, ABC, ABC. You would have to interpret that as a WXY, a double zigzag. It would be like this, where you got a zigzag here, zigzag here, zigzag there, or the X doesn't have to be a zigzag, but anyway, you get the idea. So it looks like 5 to me. So can it be a flat? I mean, it certainly comes down deep enough for a flat, but it really is, and even the 3 waves in it is super challenging. Super challenging. You got this impulsive thing. It's a gobbledygook full of gunk there, right? But it looks like 5 waves, 3 waves, and then you got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like a 5, 3, 5. A little truncated C. It's smaller. Okay. And then you've got this crap here. Let's just assume it's 5 waves. It looks impulsive. Looks like an impulse wave. I would just have to call this an ABC of some kind. Whether you want to say it's a flat, whether you can get 3 out of that or not, it would need to be 3. But that's a 5, 3, 5. It's a corrective structure. So this is where I'm like, I don't get too caught up Because whether that's a 3-3-5 or a 5-3-5, the implications for what comes next or before are the same. They're the same to me. So it doesn't matter whether it's a 3-3-5 or a 5-3-5. It's a three-wave correction. It's a three-wave structure. Okay? And so when I look at this structure here, okay, the way I interpret it is I got a three-wave structure. Then I got a three-wave structure. Now, what's hard is the three-wave structure that follows it. But here's the thing. Come on. What must come after, if I have a three-wave followed by a three-wave, what must come after that? That's a 3, a 3. What has to follow? So this is when you take the structure and you say, okay, this is what must come next. We begin to think application. What has to come after a three-wave and then a three-wave? In general, and I'm speaking in general, guys. So I got somebody saying a 5 and somebody saying a 3. Okay, good. I'm glad I got both of those answers. So let's just think it through now. Again, if you have a three-wave structure followed by a three-wave structure, it could be a 5-wave structure, but what would that be if it's a 3, 3, and a 5? That would be a flat, right? And that flat would have to come up to 90%. Okay? And so you got to remember that. You've got to remember that. Now, so if this is a 3 and then a 3, this has to come up to 90% of A. So if we measured it, it doesn't make it back up. It doesn't retrace back up to 90%. This couldn't be a 3, 3, and then a 5. We could not be looking for a 3, 3, 5. We would have to then, the only other thing after you get a 3 followed by a 3, you would have to have a three-wave. You'd have to have a three-wave. So that means we're not dealing with a flat correction, we're dealing with a W X. Maybe. There's another way to interpret this. But now we're looking for a three-wave Y. And do you see it, boys and girls? I see it. Do you see it? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. But here's our three-wave Y. There's one wave. See this one right here? There's our next wave. Okay? And there's our next wave. So we've got a 3, 3, 3. That's a really nice WXY. And I think it's finished. I think it's finished. We're getting there, Shasta. Don't get too far ahead of me here. We haven't gotten to this part yet. How are we doing? Are we doing okay? Is this? I know we've done a little bit of this, but are you beginning to understand how to now take the rules and say, okay, this is what has to come, and this is why it has to come? You begin to. I'm hoping just to model for you tonight, applying the rules to what we should expect based upon what we have. Okay. If this, then this, right? That's the idea. If I have this, then this or this can come. And I don't know which one it is. And that's why sometimes I say on my videos, it'll do this or it could do this. Okay, because basically what I have here, then I'm going to get this or this, or this. I might have 3 options or whatever. So, and this is the way we begin thinking about it. Okay. Now, this structure right here, you'll see, for me, in my interpretation, that is one structure that goes together. And that, in my interpretation, is a flat. Now, let's see if that follows the rules of a flat. What do you expect for a flat? And it's not just a regular flat, it's an expanded flat. The A wave needs to be 3 waves. Boom, boom, boom. Got it. The B wave needs to be 3 waves. Boom, boom, boom. Got it. And the C wave needs to be 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. That looks great. Let's see if it measures like an expanded flat. I'm going to measure the retrace of the A. B retrace down here below the 1. It didn't quite make the 1, 3, 2, 3, 6, but it retraced below the origin of the A wave. Good to go. Okay, let's see what the extension was of right here, what extension it came to. It came to the 1-to-1 extension, which is fine. Okay, expanded flat formation right there. Okay. Now, I don't even know what this is, guys. This wave gives everybody trouble. I think it's a WXY. Let's see. How have I dealt with this before? Oh yeah. I've got this as actually a WXY, but let me show you how I have it. So this wave is really hard. Let's spend some time on this wave. Let me show you why. Hey Max, what's up, buddy? Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer here, the Elliott Wave Energizer. Okay. Here's how I've interpreted it. All that right there is W. This is X, and that's Y. And one of the things I haven't taught you is that the rules for a triangle, but there's a triangle right here. In my opinion, it's an unequivocal triangle. Triangles, the rule for a triangle, it can only be in the X wave or the B wave or a fourth wave. Triangles happen in the wave 4 or B. And here's why I called all of this a W wave. Because I got a 5-wave impulse to start it out. Then I got this triangle. Then I got a 5-wave impulse. That's an A, B, C correction. And this is what James Meyer was talking about. The B wave doesn't have to be 3 waves always. The B wave can be a triangle. Or some other complex structure like that. Just hadn't gotten to that information yet. And still not. It's here in the chart. And I'm showing it to you. So there's an ABC right there. Then we get this real tiny little ABC in here. ABC, whatever, something like that. And then that means this, if that's a 3-wave, okay, and this 3-wave doesn't retrace 90%, well, that can't be a flat. What's up, Spartacus? Then that means this wave has to be a Y wave. And what does this Y wave have to be? What does this Y wave have to be? How many waves? No. Okay, so sorry, Shasta, I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to embarrass you. No. In a WXY, if you got a 3-wave and then a 3-wave, if it's a flat, you're going to get 5. But this ain't a flat because the B doesn't come up 90% of the A. So it's going to that. So in other words, that can't be a 3, 3, 5 because the B doesn't come up high enough. The B doesn't come up high enough. It's a triangle. It would have to be a 3, a 3, and a 3. So this Y wave, this has to be interpreted as 3. So I'm going to zoom in now on let's go to the 45 minute. Go back and find it. There it is. By the way, guys, Control Z will fix mistakes, for you, just so you know. So I need to. I got a little. Okay, so I need to get three waves out of this thing. I got to pull 3 waves out of my hat here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. See this little thing right there? That's a 3 wave up. That's my next 3 wave. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I have here is a 5 wave, a 3 wave, and a 5 wave. It's a 5, 3, 5 correction. That's an ABC zigzag. So what I have now then is an A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. That is a WXY. That's the best I've got for that wave. I'm going to come down and measure here to the bottom of that. And you can see how it comes to the 1618 perfectly with that delineation. When I measure that, it follows the rules for a WXY, which cannot exceed the 1618 extension. How we doing? That's a tough wave. But see how we take those rules and we apply them, and then we can come out with a proper analysis of what that wave is. A lot of guys have a hard time with that wave. We just took the information and the rules and applied them, and we came out with a good interpretation, I think. Okay. Shall we continue? All right. So that means I've got a 3 wave here, a 3 wave here. That means I need to have a 3 wave here. Right? Let's go out. Let's go out again. So this is the logic you need to have, okay? If I've got a 3 wave and then a 3 wave, I need a 3 wave to follow it. Okay? And so far what we've got here is a 3 wave, a 3 wave. So what does this have to be? What does this have to be? It has to be 3. Why can't it be 5? Why can't it be a 3, 3, 5? Somebody please tell me the right answer. Tell me the right answer. There you go, 990. It didn't come to 90%. That's right. Doesn't come to 90. If that wave had, yeah, there you go. It doesn't hit 90. There you go. There you go, guys. Good. Good. So if that wave, I'm here pointing on my screen. Can you see it? So if the wave had come up here to 90%, we would have been expecting 5 waves. So for me, in my count then, zoom back out. I had a 3 wave, and I'm expecting a 3 wave. So we're labeling this right now a W, an X, and now Y is down here. Okay, we're going to forget all this stuff for now. Okay, so this Y wave, we got 3 wave, and now I got a 3 wave. It has to be this large degree wave has to be 3 waves. Okay, so we've got this wave, and that wave. So now what we need to do is go, and we've already analyzed this one. Okay, we said it's a 3 wave, and this is a 3 wave. So this last leg, I keep going back over this logic, but I want you to get it because it's logical. This last leg then has to be 3 waves. I got to have 3 in here. So let's remember that. Okay? So I got 3 here, 3 here. I got to have 3 here. So let's jump in and see, how are we going to get 3 waves out of this? I don't know. It's really hard, but not really. It's pretty easy, actually. So we're going to go to the 1 hour chart, and we must interpret this in 3 waves. It has to be, based upon our conclusions so far, based upon what wave structure demands. Let me show you the structures that I see right away jumping out at me. That jumps right out at me. Somebody remind me, did we talk about diagonals last week? I totally forgot to look at the lesson. Did we talk about leading diagonals? I don't think we did. Maybe we did. Is it ringing a bell, anybody? I know you see me talk about them, but if I taught on them. I don't think I have. All right, well, that's okay. All right, so right here what we have is a 5 wave structure leading diagonal. Okay? Or and we'll talk about this structure later, okay? This is either a 5 wave or a 3 wave. I think it's a 5 wave. In fact, it matters. This has to be a 5 wave. It's a diagonal, as far as I can tell. 5 wave. Would you like to know why I think it has to be a 5 wave? Based on my count, if I say that's a 3 wave, then my next wave is a 3 wave. I would have to have a 3 wave here. But guys, there ain't no way. Well, I don't know, maybe I can, but that's not a 3 wave right there. That's an impulse. Okay? So I know I got a 5 wave structure here, an impulse. So I can't have a 3 3 5. Why wouldn't this be a 3? I mean, isn't there such a thing as a 3 3 5? There is a such thing as a 3 3 5. We call that a flat, right? But what's the problem with this being a flat? Say it again. Somebody say it again. We're just gonna drill this tonight. Not 90. There you go. You guys are gonna have that rule. You're gonna have that rule in your brain. Okay. So yeah. So that can't be a 3 3 and a 5. It needs to be a 5 3 and a 5. So I'm forced by the rules to say this got to be 5 waves. I'm forced. Okay? So we're going to leave it that. Now, what's next? Well, I've got this. Yeah, good job, guys. I'm proud of y'all. I mean, really, y'all are rocking it tonight. Okay? I got that structure here. What is this structure right here? That I just, that 3 wave structure there. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see. What do we have here? We got 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4 5 impulse. A 3, a 3, and a 5. But this 5 doesn't come up higher than that. So this is a running flat. It's a running flat. But there's your now remember, in the larger degree here, we're looking for three waves. We're interpreting this structure right here in three. So here's how we're getting it now. 1, 2, 3. A 5, 3, 5. Let's check and make sure that we get 5 waves out of this. Okay. If I were to count the 5 waves in this, I'm just going with what my eye sees right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Finished. Finito. Done. Cooked. Okay. So what we now have is we've built a count here for this correction based on the rules we've been learning, right? We got a nice WXY. And if you were watching my videos along the way through there, I was calling that a WXY the whole time. I said, well, we might have a triangle, so we got to watch out for that. And you know, it is a triangular in shape, but I don't think it's a triangle though. I'm not calling this a triangle. I'm calling this just a WXY. Okay? I don't believe it's a triangle. One might argue it is a triangle. And that's fine with me. I don't think it's a triangle. Personally. I think it's a WXY. I think that looks really, really good. Now, what do we do with this right here? After a WXY correction, what were we expecting? What do we expect after a WXY finishes? If that's finished, I would expect an impulse after, because that correction is done. I would expect that, right? But what kind of wave structure did we get? What was the wave structure we got off of this? So let's look at this wave structure and see, okay, what is the structure telling us? What type of wave it is? I'm gonna do what I've been doing. What does my eye see right away? First off, my eye sees right away, boom, boom, boom. Oop. Try it again. You're welcome, Huntikis. Huntikis. I don't know how to say that. Need a pronunciation key for y'all's names sometimes. Okay. What does that look like to you right there, guys? This wave comes down almost to the origin of this wave. That looks like 3. If I zoom in, let me just zoom in on that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Looks like 5 there. 3, 3, 5. That's what I'm seeing right away. There's a flat. Yeah. We're learning flats tonight, you know? There's a flat. Whoa, 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 wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. If this WXY is done, then why am I getting a flat here? That's a corrective wave. That's a correction. That implies that there's more downside to come. That's a corrective wave. Right? So then we got this. And I was expecting it to turn impulsive, right? I mean, here's what I was thinking when that was made. Oh, this Y isn't finished. We got one more push down. That this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to get the 5th wave down. That's what I was expecting, because that was a corrective wave. But here's what we got instead. When this was going, it just took forever. It was just sideways, and if you go in there, it's just like, it's just a bunch of 3-wave nonsense. It's just 3-wave nonsense all in there, guys. Everything's 3 waves. ABC, ABC, ABC. Should have put one more click in there. Anyway, this is in a B position because it didn't act as an impulse. I was expecting to get an impulse down, and I didn't get the impulse. It came down correctively again. So you understand what I'm saying when I say structure. The structure of the wave tells you what it's doing. Okay, that's a big deal. I can't tell you how important that is. Well, okay. So it doesn't have to be followed by an impulse, right? Because the WXY can be followed by another corrective wave. But one of the things I'm thinking about is on that large of a scale. Sherlock Holmesy, hey Meyer, what's up, buddy? On this large of a scale, WXY's finished. I'm thinking we're done. Correction's over. We hit our target. Boom, we're going, right? So I'm looking for an impulse. I'm looking for a reversal. I'm looking for 5 waves to the upside. But I want to see what we get. And what we got was another corrective wave. We got this flat here. So then I say, oh, okay, all right, then we should get an impulse to the downside and we'll finish this thing out. So what I'm trying to teach you guys is take what you have and then say, okay, what should I expect next? What are the possibilities for what comes next? And this is what I'm starting to try to show y'all. Okay. Wow, it's 11. 11:14. I didn't realize it was that late. Sorry, I hope I'm not going too long, guys. It's kind of a long stream, isn't it? We're gonna have to cut this short here. I need to pick this probably back up, but let's finish this out pretty quick here. Okay. Are y'all doing okay? How we doing? Who wants more? you got to tell me you want more if you want me to keep going. If you got to go, I get it too. It's no problem. This is all going to be recorded. You can watch it later. More. Okay. I got one person. You got 2 people. Okay, 3. Good. All right, y'all are with me. I got learners. I'll be the teacher for a little bit longer. Let's go to 11:30 and we'll quit there. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll go for 15 more minutes and see what we can get. I wanted to kind of get to some TA and what we're and applying what we're doing. Yeah, we've come this far. I agree. I wasn't even watching time. I was just teaching. Okay, so we've got this flat here, and so what I was thinking should come next was a 5-wave impulse when this was being made. I'm like, okay, we're going to get our impulse down to the downside, and I'm looking for this. So I was looking for this wave to be an impulse wave, and it just never became an impulse wave. In fact, as it was being made, it became apparent that everything was 3 waves. Look here. Look at the structure. See that structure right there? See the structure here? So I got a 3-wave and then a 3-wave. What's going to come next, guys? What's going to come next? A 3-wave. Okay, now what? I got this big 3-wave here. I got this 3-wave here. What could come next? Well, I mean, I guess we could get come on. We could get a 3-wave up. That's possible. But what did we get? We got this flat. We got this flat in here. You see that flat? So I can clear the screen a little bit. There we go. So after this 3-wave thing, we got a flat. See how flats are designed to screw you up? They really screw you up. Okay, and then what do we get after that? 3-wave. I mean, this whole thing was just 3-wave after 3-wave after 3-wave. It's crazy. Just crazy. So what do we get after that? What did we get after that? Oh, we got impulse up, right? But that's not an impulse, guys. That is not impulse. You know what that is? That's a 5-3-5. And you know what you got now? Look at it. Look at it now. You got a 3, a 3, and a 3. You know what that is right there? You know what that is? That's not a flat, technically, because it's not a 3-3-5. It's a W, X, and a Y. Okay. So now we got this 3-wave here. What came next? All right, they just prolonged it. Now I'm going to get the 5 waves to the downside. We got to get it now, right? I mean, we got to have it. So that's what I'm thinking. Oh, they just prolonged it. So what am I looking for next? I got to finish WXY. We got to turn impulse down to the downside. We got to. Okay? So we got this impulse. Boom. Okay? Let's just that messed everybody up right there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? But that's not 5 waves, guys. That doesn't measure. So you can't just count the waves, you have to measure the waves. So the problem with this is that nothing was measuring right. This thing measured to a corrective level. It measured like a 3 wave. It didn't measure like a 5 wave. It didn't measure like a diagonal. But I guess this is a diagonal. I mean, not measure like a diagonal. It just wasn't acting right. But I think I was counting this at the time as a diagonal as it was being made. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 5. Okay, there's a leading diagonal. Okay, good deal. Now here's where it got screwed up. Here's where I got screwed up. So let me tell you why I was thinking what I was thinking. I got a 3-wave up, the leading diagonal with a 3-wave up. That's a 1, 2. I'm looking for a 5-wave down, right? And this is what we got. And then we started consolidating. I was expecting another push down to finish that out, to get 5 waves out of it. And that's what we got instead. Okay. Now why is that? Because I wasn't thinking at the time this could be a flat. See, this is a 3-wave structure here, guys. And this is why I'm still bearish with you guys. This is why in my videos I'm still bearish. And I'm still calling for bear. Because I've got this 3-wave move here. That's not 5 waves. That does not finish the impulse of this last wave. It can't. Okay? If you're saying that this right down here is the end of this correction, you've got to make this some kind of, it's got to be an impulsive wave. It's got to be part of this 5 waves. And it's just not. Hey buddy, what's up? How's it going, buddy? A11 star stud. Glad you're here, man. So you can't have a 3-wave finishing this when I was expecting 5 waves. So this is why, guys, I'm not bull right now. I'm just not a bull. Because this didn't finish nothing. What this did is I got a 3-wave WXY here. I got a 3-wave move here. I got divergence on the RSI. Okay, on the higher time frame RSI. And then I got this really impulsive move to the upside. Okay, must it be must it end with an impulse? If the wave structure demands it, yeah, yes. Okay, let's go back through our logic. And this is critical, guys. Really good question, Sherlock. I mean, good question, Sherlock Holmes. All right. Sorry, that was fun. All right. Let's remember our logic here. The logic said that we had a WXY on our hands, right? This is critical. Don't, guys, if you're sleeping, don't sleep for this part. This is a big deal. Big deal what I'm about to share. This has huge implications for my Elliott wave count and why I think we're still bearish and we're not going bull. Huge implications. This question. So fantastic question. I commend you for the question. If I'm counting this as a Y wave, and I believe it to be correct, I've got to have 3 waves. So that's the first part of the logic. That Y wave has to be 3 waves. Now, because this first wave was 3 waves followed by 3 waves, this last wave has to be 3 waves. So that's the second part of the logic. So then we have to look at the nature of those 3 waves and ask, what are the different types of 3 waves we can get? We can get a flat. We can get a zigzag. Okay? We can get a 5-3-5. We can get a 3-3-5. Right? Or we can get a 3-3-3, a WXY. So we have to ask ourselves, what do we have here? So then we go to the next aspect of the logic. I got to have 3 waves here. What I got was a 5 wave diagonal followed by a 3 wave flat. So I have a 5 followed by a 3. What must come next? What has to come next? See who's with me at 11:30 at night, 12:30 at night. Has to be a 5 wave. Yeah, yes. We got a 5, a 3. That's got to be a 5. So the only question mark becomes, did that 5 wave, did we get the 5 wave? Did we get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That might be one count. But when it was being made, guys, the question I would say in the video, guys, I'm not sure how to count this. Is this 1, 2, and all that's 3, and we're getting 4, and now we're going to come down for 5? Maybe. But remember, so if this 5 waves didn't complete, what am I looking forward? What's the last leg of 5 waves? How many waves is that last leg going to be when it completes? I'm not muted. I'm okay. Everybody hear me? Test. Okay, yeah, I got volume on my end. Okay, good. All right. So if that 5 wave isn't complete, then I'm looking for 5 waves to finish this thing out. So that's why I'm looking for that 5 wave impulse to finish it. Does that make sense? So, but we never got it. And you know why we didn't get it? Because it finished. It already finished. This is a beautiful impulse wave. It's beautiful. It's got 5 waves. It's finished. It's done. Okay? Then what we got off of that, instead of a reversal impulse, we got a corrective wave. So we got a 3 wave here, and then a 3 wave here. That's finishing nothing. So then we got a 5 wave. That's a 3, 3, and a 5. Guys, what is that? Y'all know what it is. You've been watching me long enough. No problem, no problem. So what is that, guys? Right there. What is that? 335. Where this wave, this 3 wave comes below the origin of that wave. It's expanded flat. That's right. It's nothing but an ABC. So now we got to go back to the count, and we got to zoom out and say, okay, what do we got now then? We got another ABC wave. We got another 3 wave. If that's the case, guys, if that's the case, we don't have a WXY on our hands anymore. We got something else. What is it? We got a W, X, Y, X. That's a 3-wave correction. The only thing I can expect now from this point on is a Z wave. That from my logic, that's what I'm looking for. I am so convinced of that. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm gonna I'm not gonna throw Elliott Wave out the door, but I'm gonna I don't want to speak too soon. But I'm pretty darn convinced of it. I'm ready for it to go up. See, I'm watching this wave structure like a hawk, right? Shut up, Max. WXYXS. Stupid. Was that a okay? All right. I thought you were doing that as a joke. I wouldn't put it past you. All right. So now let's take logic now. Yeah, I hope BTC. I don't think it's going to go to 0. But talking with a guy last night, we were talking about the count. I can plausibly see a $2,000 Bitcoin. We'll talk about it another night from an Elliott Wave perspective. Now let's just talk now about what the Z wave needs to be. What does the Z wave need to be, guys? How many waves are we expecting in this Z wave? And let's finish this out because we got to, and we're gonna pick here. We're gonna pick back up here next week, guys. So don't fret. Don't worry. So what's coming? What does that Z wave need to be? How many waves? Who knows? I got a 3, and a 3, and a 3, and a 3. Okay. Give you a guess what that needs to be. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that, buddy. Really do. Very kind of you. Thank you, man. Yeah, this needs to be a 3 wave. Let's talk about what that 3 wave can look like in the Z. What kinds of 3 waves can we expect? We could get a 5, 3, 5, right? Or we could get a 3, 3, 5, where the B wave has to come all the way back up to where the thing stopped. Or we could get a 3, 3, 3. Right? So those are the options. Those are the options. Z wave is not 5. Z wave is 3. It's just another ABC. It's a triple zigzag is all it is. WXYXZ is just a triple zigzag. Zigzag, zigzag. Now we need another zigzag. All right. So how is this going to play out? Let's do some. I've been doing TA on it, but this is what I think. So we start with what we got. What did we get? By the way, just so you know, we are teetering on this trend line. she breaks that trend line, it is on like Donkey Kong. Okay, what did we get? We got this thing. To me, it's a 5-wave move. It's a quasi diagonal. Okay. Thanks, man. It's 5-wave. We looked at this last week, and y'all think that's 5 waves, but it's not 5 waves. It is a WXY. We need to look at that again. Oh, sorry, that's not correct. The W is up here. So that's a WXY. That's a 5 and then a 3. Okay. It's not a 5 wave. Now what do we got after that? Oh, man. We got crap is what we got. Right? Just got a bunch of junk. So I'm going to change this trend line a little bit. Another way to draw the trend line there. Just want to be, I want to be mindful of this trend line down here. So what I think we're getting, we got a 5, a 3. Now this guy's right here, that's nothing but 3 waves in there, buddy. It's 3 waves. I can't get that. I can't get anything else out of that. I was trying to look at that as a diagonal. I've never tried to see a diagonal here. Is that a diagonal? If it is, it's even more bearish than I anticipated. I don't like it as a diagonal, but maybe. Doesn't matter. We got a 3-wave correction. I think it's more like a 3-wave correction. Then we got a 3-wave to the upside. So this is what we got. We got a 3-wave, and then we got a 3-wave. What's coming next, guys? What's going to come next? What's going to come after a 3-wave, then a 3-wave? I'm expecting a 3. That's right. It's not high enough for a 5, is it? So I'm looking for a 3. So I'm looking for this 3. So now I'm looking for 3 here. Right? I'm looking for 3. So today the wave forecast I gave you was this. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Now what did we get here? What did we get? What did we get? We got a 3-wave here. And then a 3-wave. And now what are we getting here? It's a 3-wave again. So look what we've got. We've got a 1, 2, we got 3 waves. It's done. Now what? So is this thing going to keep on coming down? Probably not. Because it started with a 3-wave. So this is where you got to start thinking, guys, of what the structure is telling you. What is the structure telling you? The structure is saying, I got a 3-wave here. Then I got a 3-wave. Well, that didn't come up to 90%, so I'm not going to get 5 waves. So I'm going to get another 3-wave. Boom, boom, boom. Looks like it's finished. And if it's not, it might have one more hit to the low, and that's it. One more hit down here. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. So we've got 3, 3, 3. So when we step back and look at all of that together as one big wave, what you have there, you see it? And that gets you the first leg. So what are we expecting now? After that 3 waves is finished, we need 3 waves to the upside. It's coming back up to $9,400, $9,500, something like that, in that ballpark. Who knows how big that 3 wave is going to be? We don't know. And then after that, we got a 3 wave, then a 3 wave. What are we going to get after that, guys? We're going to get a 3 wave, most likely. So when we zoom out, let me change colors here. What do we got? What's the big picture here? We've got A, B, excuse me. Sorry. Let's try again. Let's do this one. A really big line. Let's make it red. We got a W, X, Y. And there's your 3 waves there. Now, when we zoom out even more, what is that? That's just the first 3 legs of our Z wave. In other words, we got a 3, we're going to get a 3, and another 3. We are going to be 3 waved to death all the way down, probably. Boom, boom, boom. Going to get 3 waves up and then a 3 wave down. There's Bitcoin for you. That's what I think. It's 11:39. How'd you do tonight? Tell me, give me some feedback. What most helpful thing you learned tonight? Just to chat about it real fast. What's the most helpful thing you learned tonight? The goal was to help you guys begin thinking about taking what the structure that you have and anticipating what's coming next. Yes. If you're starting to see that, Sherlock, I'm very happy. Very happy. Yes, you definitely you got to watch 1 through 5, because if you didn't get all that foundation, then you're going to really be missing out. Good, good, Ali. Okay, that's a good question, Seth. Let's talk about it. Is there a possibility of hitting 10,000 without violating any rules before going down? Yep. Yeah, guys, this is just beginning. I'm just getting you started and beginning to think about this. It's going to take you a while. Okay, it's going to take you a long time to begin to assimilate all of this and to begin to see it. Guys, I eat and sleep waves anymore. I dream in waves, okay? Okay, let's look at, can we go up to 10,000? What would it have to be if it's going to go up to 10,000? So how are we going to get up here before going down there? Okay. Maybe. How would that be? The shape would have to be this. I've got, that's your first leg. That's your second leg. No, no, sorry. That's your first leg. Period. Done. Right there. Boom. And then we've got to do this. And then we got to get up here somehow. How are we going to get up there? 3, 3, 3. So that's the way we would have to get up there. So in other words, when this, we got a big 3 here, we got a big 3 here. When this 3 is finished, it would behoove us to go long in case that does that. I'm not seeing it though. It doesn't look right with the structure, but it could happen. It could happen. I like this as a diagonal. I've never really looked at it as a diagonal. I like it a little bit more as a diagonal. I mean, I do. I kind of like that a lot, actually. Now, this is a diagonal. There ain't no way I don't think we're going up there. Maybe. That could be a diagonal, y'all. Just an odd one. But yeah, that's the way we would have to do it. So we would have to come up in 3 waves. And what that would be then is 3. That couldn't be a diagonal. So that's 3. And that's 3. It'd have us going up here really higher, retesting the high. And so we'd have a big 3 wave like that. I suppose that's a possibility. But I'm not digging into it. Not digging it. This video has gone so long, but I'm excited. You guys are excited to learn. So that's Tom asked me to go through and talk about the structure from 3K. Let's do that next week, Tom. I can always do that with you privately in the group if you want to get that. I sorry I didn't do that yet, but I'm just mindful of the time. But all right, guys. Oh, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for the feedback. I hope you guys are learning. Share the stuff, guys. Let people know about the channel if you just want to do me a favor and help me grow the channel. We got 1,600 subscribers. I really appreciate that, and want to continue growing that. It's going to help my family. I'm trying to go January, guys. I'm looking to go full time, or at least to give it a shot and see if we can support my family with trading. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and you can support me and my family as we try this thing by just subscribing if you haven't subscribed. Comment every day. Appreciate the comments. I don't care if it's random. I mean, I'm not looking for you to, yeah, to rub my nose in niceness every day. I mean, I'm just throw a comment in there. Tell me your favorite Bible verse. Recite your favorite limerick. Just throw a comment every day for me, and share the videos in your constituencies on Facebook. Just say, hey, I found this channel. It's really great. He's teaching Elliott Wave, and share the videos. That would really help me out. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic evening. We'll talk to you later, okay? See you tomorrow morning on the flip side. Bye-bye.